So you're taking a trip? Where to? Liberia. I think the CDC would like to take a look at your itinerary. Are you sure you wouldn't want to go to Disney World instead? They have a haunted mansion there that you'd fit right in. Hi, I'm Joe Alton, MD, also known as Dr. Bones, the disaster doctor of www.doomandbloom.net, where you'll find over 500 posts on medical preparedness for any disaster. Along with my lovely wife, Nurse Amy, we're the co-authors of the #1 Amazon bestseller in survival skills and safety first aid, The Survival Medicine Handbook, and the designers of the brand new board game, Doom and Bloom's Survival, a fun way to get the whole family involved in the survival mindset. This is America's favorite noisemaker, TD Bird, and my imaginary friend here, well, needs no introduction. Recently, Ebola arrived in the United States when a man named Thomas Duncan stepped off a plane from Liberia. In the short time he's been in this country, he's had direct or indirect contact with up to 100 people. Now, although every effort has been made to contain this case, it brings up the question as to whether a travel ban of flights from West Africa would have a protective effect for U.S. citizens. The director of the Center for Disease Control, Dr. Tom Frieden, has stated, "If we take actions that seem like they may work, they may be the kind of solution to a complex problem that's quick, simple, and wrong." His reasoning is that isolation of countries that have been ravaged by the epidemic would amount to cruel and unusual punishment. He also implies that needed help for these countries would somehow be hindered by restricting air travel from them. He says that the only way to ensure Americans are safe from the virus is to care for people in the Ebola-ravaged countries, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Liberia, who have it. His statements are well-meaning but go against sound logic. Now, why would I say that? Am I heartless? No, we have to help these people. The restriction of air travel, however, from Ebola-ridden nations and the active transport of aid to them are not mutually exclusive. I applaud our efforts to send the best care to the people suffering from this deadly epidemic. However, a travel ban would decrease the chances of more Ebola cases here. A healthier U.S. means more needed resources can be sent elsewhere. A U.S. travel ban wouldn't be a new thing in this epidemic. Many countries are already placing restrictions on travel from the Ebola zone. Air France, British Airways, Korean Air, and others have also suspended flights from parts of West Africa. I've read that 10,000 travelers from West Africa arrive in the U.S. every 3 months through the hubs of Houston, New York, and Atlanta. Although those entering the country are questioned regarding symptoms, they even have their temperatures taken, it's simple to bypass these safeguards. If you doubt me, put some ice water in your mouth and then check your temperature. I doubt that health officials are feeling everyone's foreheads for fever. Mr. Duncan was less than forthcoming regarding his exposure to Ebola. While many consider this reprehensible, I can understand why he felt compelled to lie to the authorities in order to escape the epidemic zone. Indeed, it might save his life. Why wouldn't others wanting to leave these countries be tempted to do the same? We have a sophisticated system to deal with infectious disease, but it only works when guidelines are followed. Human error played a part in Mr. Duncan's story when a health worker failed to communicate his travel history to the physician. This is a red flag that failed to be hoisted up the flagpole. Mistakes are made, and they can happen again. Do we want more opportunities for mistakes to occur? I don't. Dr. Frieden says the best way to protect ourselves is not to try to steal off these countries, but to provide the kind of services that are needed so that the disease is contained there. The only way to get to zero risk is to stop it there. While it must be stopped there, how is exposing the United States to more potential Ebola victims a zero-risk situation? It's been suggested that the decision to restrict air travel should come from President Obama himself. Although this restriction is logical, it's difficult for a politician to wage the battle between individual freedoms and public safety. It makes logical sense, therefore, that the recommendation must come from those that lead our major health institutions. Dr. Frieden and his colleagues must stop being politicians, and come to the conclusion that will assure our continued good health, while sending more resources to heal those abroad. The restriction of air travel, even temporarily, is the quickest, simplest, and right decision here. I'm Joe Alton, MD, the Disaster Doctor, and that's my opinion. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you haven't gotten yourself medically ready for disasters, check out our entire line of medical supplies at store.doomandbloom.net. There's something there for every need and every budget to help you succeed, even if everything else fails.